Hi friends, Ember Sandy here back with another episode of the Daily Grind. You already know I'm pouring you up a nice hot cup of joe. Going to get your day off to a bright and beautiful start. Hope you guys are well. Thank you guys for coming in, doing, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Let's get our messages for the day ahead. Um, Thank you to those of you. Shout out to the Patreon members. I really appreciate all of your support. Join us and get extended messages linked below. The top of the day is love. Some of you could be doing some things. I feel like I was getting this actually in my meditation where you're going to be shown some sort of love. And this could be, sometimes it's like universal love, but this feels like it's coming through like in the form of like what could be like a sixth sense, right? Sometimes it's just like the Holy Spirit slows you down. Like, let me stop. And this could be like have a heart to listen. I don't know why it's giving like, it could be like, let me share some of my food, or it could be like a small act, right? That's something that you just feel led to do, right? In one way or another. But then on the other side of that, you don't always know the way in which it shows you love. That's what it feels. Now the reality is if we're all in this position, then I just feel like the Holy Spirit is placing people in different people's hearts. So don't be surprised if like somebody reaches out, or just like I said, a kind gesture of some sort for you today has a heart. Okay, neutral vision. Okay, if there's something coming up ahead, this is going to, I get the energy of like bring it to right. There's a theme at play that says like, I don't know why it's given like driving down the street. You have to choose to look where you're going. You have to choose to watch. You have to choose to listen, right? It's just like even in your like friendships or otherwise, you have to choose to what feels like be attentive, right? This is significant because if you think about like your relationship with God as well, right? Spirit is speaking to us literally all the time, right? God is placing people or things on our hearts. Do this, don't do that, right? Perhaps. But we're spiritually sensitive to things all the time, yet we have to choose whether or not we're going to honor that relationship. And that's what I feel is at play today. Sometimes I would call it disobedience or whatever. It's just wisdom to know what is the right thing to do in given circumstances. And these are things that, yes, the things that we like learn like throughout our life, whether it be I don't know why I'm getting like parochial school, like behavioral, like etiquette, things like that. This can be like, you think about like religion, teaching you morals, right from wrong. You can learn all those things, but at the end of the day, if we don't listen to that voice that's inside of us and actually cultivate that relationship, that gives us that practical insight and wisdom to know what to do in real life, then we'll end up in a position where we'll go through all of these steps, but because we didn't listen, we still miss the call, because the deeper purpose behind these things that we learn is to secure us in life, in the areas perhaps where we feel insecure, but essentially where we're supposed to be. And when we're where we're supposed to be or doing what we're supposed to be with whom we're supposed to be, then life begins to mirror. It's almost like when we're operating in God's plan, our life begins to reflect the divinity that is clearly shown in God's plan. And that's why a lot of times, like, being with the wrong person, or, like hanging with the wrong crowd, right? Like your mama used to tell you, right? But that's why a lot of times things like that can really set you back. It can really uproot you, if you will, prevent you from maybe getting as deep. You think about people who's supposed to maybe go to the league or something like that, who never make it. Well, perhaps it's things like that. And these are not just people. They're also things, habits, ways of being, things that we don't, again, when we don't listen to the voice of God that gives us that sensitivity in our heart that says, time to give that up, right? Time to let them go, right? Time to start doing this, right? Incorporate more of that in your life. When we don't accept that love when it's on our heart to do, then we wind up in a position where we take for granted the mercies or the blessings of God. Sometimes that's our health, it's our bodies, right? And if we don't heed those signs that we're getting, then what happens? We end up with some sort of health issue or disparity later on down the road because we didn't what accept love. And here we have the vulture coming out to join that. You guys know that's an air energy. This sometimes can deal with conversation. There is a sense of like making oneself clear. And with the lion here, having the confidence perhaps to clear some things up, to clean some things up. This can even be like to remember, air energy deals not only with speaking but with listening. So this can even be like, yeah, listen to your heart, listen with your heart, an open-hearted nature. Have the confidence to be open-hearted, and someone is either speaking or they're listening, and this is in an open-hearted manner because of the fact that there needs to be what feels like some sort of confidence or perhaps clarity that is achieved through doing so. So these are behaviors that are going to benefit you. In a negative light, when we see this energy, this is where this is the thing. The nature of the heart is sensitive, right? If I split you wide open and I touch your heart, chances are you're going to feel that, right? Even if I don't, right? If I do something, say I take the defribs, right? And I send a pulse of energy to your heart is going to feel that. The heart is sensitive. So sometimes this energy, when we don't express it properly, right? Because we have that liberty, right? I set before you two choices. Choose life is what I'm telling you to do, but death is a choice as well. So when we don't make that life-giving choice that Spirit is leading us to make in our hearts, then we end up in a situation where, remember, the vulture feeds off of the dead, where we don't have anything. This is like we negative Nancy's, right? Where we pick at, this is like beating a dead horse. You're still talking about that over and over again, right? Still going through this. There's no more life in it, right? It's those situations or circumstances that take from you to a degree that you don't have any more energy. All I can do is actually give my life force to you. You don't want those. So some of you could be removing those, right? Having the courage or the confidence to release those, right? Whether they're people, whether, like I said, habits, things, otherwise, or you could be in a position where what you're doing is saying, hey, because of the fact that I need to be clear. This could be even gaining clarity about someone else's heart, right? I need to know your heart. I need to know, that this is right. I need to, and this could be details in business. This could be like, get to the heart of the matter, right? I need to clear whatever this is up and have the confidence. It's kind of like have the boldness to ask, right? Have the boldness to say, right? This is where you have that level of confidence. I feel at the top of the day. Moving into midday, there's a sense of being glad that you did with the lion coming out. This is fire energy. This is confidence, perhaps to move forward, right? For some of you, this is neutralizing some sort of blockage. And it's beautiful because that's the way it works. When we listen to the Holy Spirit, when it moves upon our heart, then we can have what? That holy boldness. We can have that confidence that we talked about in Matthew. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to question because we placed our confidence in God. And even though that sensitivity of heart sometimes makes us feel vulnerable, when we are sensitive to it, which is what the whole purpose of it, then we have that, blessed assurance. Yes, we have that blessed assurance that literally whatever problem or issue, it neutralizes it. It brings it down to size. Okay. So some of you are going to realize this as a gift in the form of like a literal gift that you have, where you're really good at this in any given situation or becoming better. I really feel that you're becoming increasingly confident. And so what it's doing is anytime there is, maybe it is a concern. I hear Bob Marley, affairs of the heart. And so it could be an affair of the heart. But anytime you have an affair of the heart, you're not going to shirk away from it. You're going to be certain about your ability to be able to neutralize it by confronting it or addressing it. And then the end of the day, it looks as though there's some sort of anchor. Are you being held down? That's what it feels like, and not in a bad way for certain. It feels like this is also fire energy. So the end of the day, you could certainly be moving into more activity. But this is kind of like something about the end of the day as you doing or working through something that you personally feel inspired to do. Okay. That's what it feels. This is like, I feel comfortable doing whatever this is. And I have to say, you're either going to get a message externally, or this is coming from internal. It's like, I know this is like, I know what I know. I want to do this. I'm sure. I don't know why. That's what it feels like. Somebody is becoming sure. Somebody is certain. They're sure. I don't know why. I see the mirror here. So remember, at the beginning of the messages, I talked about the mirror, and I said what happens when we listen to the Holy Spirit. Because of the fact that we're following God's plan mirrors us in life, and everything that shows up in our world is a reflection of God's plan that we chose and we had confidence in. When we choose our own plan, then we end up in a position where what mirrors around us is, this is what your plan really looks like. Let that sink in. Maybe you better go a little bit deeper with God, because he's trying to get you a message here. And he's going to talk to you till he's blue in the face. But you're going to keep bumping your head. How are we going to soften that? Y'all, these are the messages that I have for you. I love you. That's what I have for today. Go with God's plan, right? Be sensitive to what your heart is telling you. What you don't know, don't be fearful of. Find out and trust that everywhere you place your hand in his, that he's going to lead you, he's going to guide you, he's going to speak to every question it is that you have. He's going to answer, and he's going to speak directly to you. Okay? I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye for now. Have a great day.